This is Sacred Empowerments of the Divine Feminine. I am Yolanda YaYa Williams. In this episode, we are going to discuss divine love, divine feminines, balancing our divine feminine aspect and our divine masculine. What life, what love, what relationships, what spirituality looks like in understanding what is divine love. How do we acquire it? How do we know when we have it? And what to look for when we are considering partners with other people. You do not want to miss any part of this message. Tap in with your girl. Let's get it. Thank you for tuning in to Sacred Empowerments of the Divine Feminine. I am Yolanda YaYa Williams. What is going on, everyone? I hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're having a great day, night, morning, whichever one it is when you are watching this video. To my first time subscribers, if this is your first time hearing my voice, thank you for tapping in with us today. Please take a moment. See how I just claimed you as my first time subscriber? See how I just claimed you as a subscriber? You might as well go on and subscribe. That wasn't coincidence. That wasn't coincidence. Um, but no, if you have this is your first time hearing my voice, please take a moment to subscribe, join the tribe, join the family. We would love to have you over here, Divine Feminine. Also hit the notification bell when you know when I'm back with another one. All right, another video, another whatever. You know what I'm saying? Also hit the like button after you watch this video. That is a great way to support the channel. That is the most we ask for as a channel. And we really greatly appreciate you working with us for the benefit of our growth, so on and so forth. To my returning subscribers, what's good, Soul Tribe? What's good, Divine Feminines? Hope everybody is doing good. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Um, I hope you as well are having a good day, night, morning, and found in wholeness and prosperity at the time in which you are listening to this sacred empowerment. All right, now that we got all that out of the way, um, let's. I want to talk about some things that the mother was talking to me about the other day, and really kind of want to take a moment to talk about divine love for a minute, okay? Divine love. Divine love, I'm learning, is not really about a feeling, cuz I don't know, I'll just speak for me, but when I hear the word love, right? And then you slap the word divine in front of it. I'm trying to, I've been trying to figure out, well, what is the difference between what we know as love in the third dimension and the way we experience it, and what does, the divine family or the higher vibrational dimensions deem love to be. And what I'm realizing is that it's really not about a feeling, right? It is not about, you know, um, getting the butterflies in the stomach or just being willing to, just rock with somebody. That's not about it being a ride or die. It's not about, it's more about the partnership. It's more about the harmony between the masculine and the feminine aspect. In my mind now, love, divine love is another way to say divine harmony, divine unity, right? And so when you look at it from that perspective, out of all of the so-called love relationships that I have had, I can't say that I've ever experienced divine unity, harmony. Now I'm speaking as a woman. I'm not speaking about the spirit. I'm speaking as a woman. Out of the two marriages and the boyfriends and the soulmates and the this and the that, I can't say that I have experienced as of yet in the 3D, in the third dimension, in my physical self, in my physical partnerships and relationships, that I have experienced divine love from the aspect of love equating to divine harmony, being balanced completely with someone who um is expressed in their masculinity, and me expressing femininity, right? And so understanding that divine love is speaking to divine harmony, bringing the masculine and feminine aspects of yourself into harmony with each other. And I also can't say that when I started my spiritual journey, my spiritual awakening, 2 and going on 2.5, 3 years ago, about 3 years ago, um, I really, you go on, you just feel a pull and a tug, and you feel like, you just following the spirit, man. You, you know what I mean? You don't really have answers for what it is exactly you're trying to accomplish. For one, your consciousness is having to be broken down and then rebuilt up. Right. So there's a lot of things you're having to unlearn and then relearn while you're awakening, while you're doing shadow work, having to unlearn and relearn about spirituality, outside of the scope of religions and things like that. And so it's a lot on your plate when you start a spiritual awakening. And you really don't really know what's going to be at you know, the tail end of it. What is really the goal here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is really the goal? What you do know is that you want to have a spiritual awakening. What you do know is that you feel a soul tug. You feel something tugging at your soul to heal, to transform, to elevate, to raise your vibrations. This is what you do know. But I'm realizing, as I am now awakened, doesn't mean that you stop learning, doesn't mean that you stop evolving once you reach being awakened, right? It just means that you know some things that you didn't know when you started it, quite naturally. And what I'm realizing is that the last 3 years of my life, I have gone through so much change. I have gone through so much change inside of me and in my outward life. I mean, the very vibration of my life seemingly, and I'm talking about my 3D life, it seemingly dropped into the darkness and into the abyss. Because before the last 3 years of my life, I didn't have, I spoke about in another sacred empowerments where, I've always been provided for. I've had a lot, I've had a little, I've gone through things like everybody else, but I've always said to myself, and I've always told people, to be honest, I'm a little bit spoiled when it comes to God. When it comes to the spirit, I'm a little spoiled. And so I say that because if I ever was to lose anything, they would always give it right back. I always get it right back. You know what I'm saying? I lose a job, I get another, and not only another one, but a better one. I lose a car, I get another one. You know what I'm saying? I lose a man, I get another one. You know what I mean? It's like, lose a house, get another one. It's always been, yes, I've had loss, but I've always had immediate gain to follow it. I've never been without. And so, because of the things that I needed to heal to bring myself into divine love, to bring myself into harmony, I knew I was spoiled, but I also could recognize that because I was so well provided for. Now this may sound weird, but I'm just going to tell you how I had to be broken down in order for me to get my awakening. Okay, this may not go for everybody. You may find yourself somewhere in what I'm talking about. You may not. Just sit tight and just share with your girl for a minute, okay? Um, What was I saying? Oh, I realized I was spoiled, right? But I also realized that the universe was doing such a good job taking care of me and constantly providing. And I was squandering everything that the spirit was providing me because there was some form of disharmony between my feminine and masculine self. And I say it like that because it was just I did, and I'm talking in hindsight because, like I said, when I started this situation, I'm just going on a spiritual awakening. I'm just trying to get out from up all of, under this rigmarole. I don't know what's going on with the world. I don't know. Religion has failed. Okay, this not making sense no more. So I'm feeling a tug on the soul. So I'm just gonna go into this dark tunnel, like I heard the spirit ask me to. I see the light on the other side, but it's way over there. And one thing I do know to do is trust spirit. And I don't know what's going to be the outcome. I believe I do know when the spirit is pulling on me. And so I do know how to answer the call. And I did that. That's the best I could muster up at the time. And so up until the last 3 years of my life, I've not been ever without things, without stuff, without third dimensional material things. Whether I kept it, whether I lost it, it didn't matter because I'd always get it back. I mean, right back. Fast as I lost it, it was right there. And so I'm like, you're a little spoiled. As I started reaching about 33, 36, I'm like, you have things, but you don't really have anything to show for. I don't know if this makes sense to you. You have a job, you have a car, you have a home, but you don't really have anything. You don't own the home. You're leasing the car, and the job is a job, but it's not what you're passionate about. So you have things, but you don't really have what it is, like what will fulfill you. So you really don't have, right? And I'm like, damn, mama, I'm getting a little old around here. I need to find some fulfillment. I got two kids, they okay as long as I can get them a new toy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Some Roblox or Robux. They fine. They don't know about this grown people stuff. All they know is when taco night come, the meat and the tacos and the lettuce and the tomatoes and cheese and sour cream is there. They don't know how I got there aside from mommy works and we eat. That's all they know. That's all they supposed to know. Okay? They don't need to know about my woes, right? Because on the outside it don't look like I got none. You know? And I was trying to piece together what was going on with me, and I come to the conclusion there's a disharmony. And so you're a bit spoiled, Yolanda. But there's something lying at the root of the spoiling. Is something lying there that causes when the spirit in the universe provides for you, there's a tug of war almost. It's like, yes, the spirit is providing, but in my spirit, I felt a tug of war. Like between two parts of me, they were warring with each other. And I couldn't make no sense of it because the Bible don't tell me nothing about this aside from the flesh warred against the spirit. And now I understand what that means. It means the masculine warreth against the feminine. That's what that means, right? But then, when I was reading it before, the flesh warred against the spirit, I'm looking like, okay, my flesh, which is what I am, wars against the spirit of God, right? And I really wasn't able to bring a lot of the scriptures, a lot of the word of God in close enough to me. Like I had a logical understanding. I even had a spiritual revelation that was provided on some accounts of certain scriptures, but those revelations was predicated upon what I could consciously comprehend at that time. And what I could consciously comprehend was predicated upon sin, hell, the grave, heaven, a crown, streets of gold, pearls, gates, angels, and the devil and the demons, and bind it up and rebuke it. So my consciousness was like limited. So there was only so much spirit could reveal. So when I started going on my awakening, I started to kind of like get an understanding of these scriptures in a way that is more intimate to me. Those the flesh warred against the spirit, the masculine warred against the feminine. So what you have to do is you have to, and see, this is why personifying Jesus is so detrimental to spiritual evolution. Because by them personifying Jesus, they created a scapegoat so that you don't have to do the work. All you have to do is throw all your cares on him, for he careth for you. You don't have to actually go into the deeper, as long as you don't sin, you don't steal nothing, you don't fornicate, you know what I'm saying? You go to church, you pay your tithes, you know what I mean? You a good Christian, then that equates to you actually growing spiritually. And I'm sure many of you can attest to this, that being a good Christian doesn't mean that you're growing spiritually. Doesn't mean that you have spiritual understanding. Doesn't mean that you have spiritual understanding. Doesn't mean that you know what you're doing. It doesn't mean that you know about the rituals that you are putting yourself in. You're just doing what the religion requires without questioning, why am I doing this? What does this mean to me as a being who has to alchemize my own shit, right? You're not looking at it from that space because they have personified Jesus, making him who you cast all your cares and your sins, because he died for the sins of the whole world. So this is where the personification of Jesus becomes very harmful to the soul that needs to evolve and understand how to do that, right? You need to understand how to carry your cross, the cross representing masculine energy, earth energy, cardinal directions and points, the cross representing everything that is earthly, right? You have to, you know, you have to figure it out for yourself, because we are not all the same, and we're not all carrying the same cross. And so this is the example when you leave Jesus, and not just Jesus, but in this particular message, I'm going to be talking a lot about him. But when you leave like that imagery, that mythological figure, that archetype, when you leave him in the form of the esoteric mythology that he's supposed to be, the esoteric example that it is supposed to be, then the minds of the people can expand to understand, what am I actually doing here? Well, what you're actually doing as a spirit, as a soul, is you are bringing peace between the masculine of you and the feminine of you. The flesh warred against the spirit. You're bringing peace to that war. You cannot put it on nobody else. Trust me, there is nobody else that can bring peace to the war that is your masculine and that is between your feminine and your masculine. Nobody else can do that, because only you, in the multiple dimensional versions of you, understand the intricacies that make you you. There's nobody else that can help you with that besides you. So the idea that we had a savior come down and the son of God and he got on the cross and he died for everybody. So all you got to do is confess with your heart and confess with your mouth and believe with your heart and you shall be saved. All of that, like it starts to become nonsense. The more you know, the more you know, it starts to become nonsense. And it also starts to become a situation where you look at the people who perpetrated the nonsense on you and you feel deep disgust. Because if you had to just left him and given and passed this message down and left this mythological figure in the esoteric form of himself, then the world would be better off because people would know that it is their personal responsibility to evolve their soul. There's nobody you could just, like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. Let Jesus take it. But some things we just have to know that sometimes we do not understand everything. Why that had to happen, how that happened, why we have found ourselves as divine beings in this place where we are having to return. And see, this is the thing. I don't know if a lot of us who are in this time right now that are experiencing awakenings, you know, you're not awakening as much as you are reawakening. See, you used to already know all of this. And over the course of the ages, the truth got more and more suppressed, and certain factions of society decided that they want to hold and harbor the truth for themselves while pointing you to a pseudo placebo, a placebo pill. Mm, point them over here to the placebo. Point them to Jesus, and we'll take the truth and we'll go hide in our dungeons and study the truth, and we'll use all of that power to harvest their energy without them even knowing it. But the point is that we're reawakening to the truth of divine harmony. We're reawakening to the truth of divine unity, and we are reawakening to the truth of divine love. And all of those three things are one and the self same. The wisdom of the mother's heart, the mother's love is expressed through your masculine aspect. The feminine aspect of you is invisible and cannot be seen. She is spirit. She rules the spiritual dimension, she rules the spiritual world, right? She is invisible to the naked eye, having no body nor form. In order for her to be seen, she has to take on a form. And this is where God the Son comes in. He rules the masculine, he rules the physical form of everything. And this is what I had a hard time because, early on in my awakening, when I first started, and then the mother came in and she was telling me, follow me and I'll show you the way. And I'm like, okay, boom. And then I started studying the history of patriarchy, and I started studying like, I didn't know nothing about none of this. I'm coming from the Bible where every female in the Bible besides Deborah was cast in a negative light. Sarah, maybe, I don't know. It was very few women in the Bible who wasn't cast in a good light. They either Jezebels, harlots, and whores, or they're just not mentioned at all. And so Christianity is hella patriarchal, is very heavy on the masculine end. And where it fails us is it doesn't really give enough blatant explanation of the mother. She's in there. She's in there. You know, you got Solomon has written books describing the mother. But when you're in Christianity and your brain is indoctrinated to look at everything concerning spirituality through just the masculine aspect, it may give you a blessed physical 3D life. Like you may have a blessed physical 3D life. But evolution in the spirit is under the governance of the mother. It's not under his, that's not under his governance. And so though you may be blessed because you have a relationship with God, the masculine aspect, okay? If you have no acknowledgement and no inner acknowledgement to the feminine aspect, consciously knowing that is the feminine aspect, and so I um I divulge myself of her, consciously knowing what I'm doing. It's next to impossible to bring harmony to what you can't understand. You can't bring harmony to what you don't know you need to bring harmony to. All right? So the wisdom of the mother's heart, the wisdom of the spirit is expressed through the physical world, through the physical body, through God, which is the masculine aspect. And in that, they forge what's called divine partnership, divine love, divine harmony. There is a unity between God and the mother that removes, when you really understand and get down to the true power of it, it removes any concept of them being separate from each other. They are separate from each other, but they're not separate from each other because they are in a divine. It's almost like he's not going to manifest anything in the 3D that she doesn't want to see. He can't manifest anything in the 3D that she doesn't want to see because she is the will. She is the heart. So she is the mind of the universes. Okay? She is the mind. She is the all. She is everything. So it's just like your mind. Your body can't do anything your mind does not tell it to do. Your mind and your body are in such synchronicity that you don't have to think about walking. You don't have to think about how to talk. You don't have to think about doing regular things like yawning or sneezing or breathing. You don't have to think about blinking. You just do it. But is there something going on in your mind that is telling your body what to do? And your body can't do what the mind doesn't tell it. That's how in sync your mind and your body is, which is why while we are spiritually evolving, we do so much mind work. We have to get the mind under subjection. We have to elevate the mind. We have to open up portals in the mind so we can get our third dimensional self to start manifesting what we really want to see and not what we don't really want to see, because we have things playing off in our mind that we're not observing, we're not taking account of, we're not investigating. So then we don't really realize why we just keep getting the same, bullshit all the time. Well, it's your mind that's creating that reality. And if you want to change that physical reality, you have to change your mind, because the mind is the mother. The spirit and the mind is the mother. The physical and consciousness. See, because the mind is, listen, consciousness is awareness. There are things that go off and go. This is what meditation is for. It teaches us how to be aware of our mind. The mind is working whether you're aware of it or not. And how do you become aware of the mind? This is when you have to pull in the other dimensional versions of you to help you, to help yourself, your third dimensional self, see what is going on in the mind, because the third dimension is heavy, it's dense. It's not the densest dimension, but it is dense, right? You can identify divine masculinity by his reflection of the mother's love, or his submission to her wisdom. And this is really important as divine feminines, because if you are waiting on a divine partner, if you are dating, you know, whatever the case may be, and you're waiting for a divine masculine, right? And so when we're dating, before we awakened, we just chose who we chose. We just allowed ourselves to be connected to whatever man we found ourselves attracted to, whatever man he had, I don't know, some money, solid, got a little good head on his shoulders, was raised well, don't look like he gonna beat on me or cheat on me or lie to me. We look for certain things when we're dating, when we're just dating from the flesh, right? When we're just dating from the flesh, we look for certain things. But when we awaken and we put our spirit being first, we put it back in the headship. We put divine feminine back in the headship of our lives. We put her back on her throne, then we don't really date from the flesh. So the things that are earthly and trivial, or the things that are earthly that we've been conditioned to look for in a partner, becomes trivial. Those things kind of become a little trivial. I mean, not saying we want to walk around. A divine masculine is not broke. You understand what I'm saying? Divine masculine is not going to be broke, so we don't have to talk about money. And if he is having a little bit of transition financially, he's also put his divine feminine back on the throne, and so he communicates in a certain way. He's not trying to come into your life and give you a false sense of security, because then why would he do that? He would be dishonoring his own divine feminine essence to do that. So this is all, the whole conversation changes when you are in conversation with another divinely harmonic being. It changes all of the trivial things that we've been taught to define love partnerships by, kind of go out of the window when you have two divine beings in harmony with themselves and trying to see if they can create a harmony with each other. The conversation just has to be different. I would, it's gonna have to be different with me. I'm gonna just put it like that. Okay, it's gonna have to be different, because I didn't do all this good work to get myself out from under the slavery, the slave mindset, the mindset of money. I'm not talking about being broke. I'm talking about the slave mindset of money. I did not do all of this work to let an individual come into my life and then try to connect and plug into me based on how much money they got. Are you crazy? Again, I'm gonna reiterate, I am not at all glorifying being broke. I'm letting you know that this is more about intention. This is more about frequency. You have to be plugged into destiny, your purpose and destiny. Because what I don't want is a rich, miserable man. I don't want that. I don't want a man that's got a whole lot of money that don't do nothing but come home and crack open a bottle of gin and vodka every night and smoke a cigar, got the whole house stinking, and he's so wealthy, but he don't got no vibration. He just boring. I don't want that. I don't want a rich, miserable. Nothing. So money ain't everything when you're talking about a divine union. And people who are in divine unions will never be broke. Not physically, not spiritually. It's next to impossible, right? The beauty in um the hope of divine partnership, the beauty in doing the manifesting of a divine partner is that, for me anyway, from my perspective, okay, is that I have freed myself from unnecessary false perceptions of myself and of what a man is supposed to do and be. I'm not really waiting for a man, not really waiting for anything, but I'm speaking these terms. I'm not waiting for, I'm not manifesting a man. That's not what I'm doing. What I am manifesting is a divine masculine. And I think that there is a difference. I think that there is a difference, right? He would have to be. He would have to be. Because nothing else can stand next to me. Nothing else but a divine being can stand next to me. You know, this was something we talked about a couple of sessions ago, where I said, we get to the point when we start healing, we start bringing balance to our divine feminine, divine masculine aspect, that we raise our standards. You know, we raise our standards because we now know what divine love is. Divine love is not about the goo goo gagas and the feelings and this is what he make me feel and the tingles, and the things and the things. You know what I'm saying? Divine partnership and divine love and divine union is about having a partner that you can have harmony and balance and unity with. Your divine masculine may not even be a male. Oh, give me 1 second. I'm gonna let that marinate. It doesn't have to be a male. So I don't want us to get boxed into, genders. Your divine masculine may not even be male. Depends on you. I just want to plug that in because divine partners, um, the people who, women who love women are not uh excluded from this conversation. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that whole genderization of the whole, see, this is how deep the brainwashing goes. This is how deep it goes, right? Some things that's going on in the world right now when it relates to genders, and this is kind of off topic, but I'm here, so let me just go with it. I may not ever be able to really understand personally, but I'm intelligent enough spiritually to understand that when I can't understand something, mind your business and give respect to the humanity of the human. That's all you got to do. It's simple. Mind your business and respect people's humanity and their right to figure themselves out. Everything else is above my pay grade. This is about harmony between the feminine aspect, which is spirit, and the masculine aspect, which is the body, which is the self. This harmony, this divine masculine, your masculine aspect has to be submitted to the wisdom of your divine feminine aspect. This is important because there are spirits of density and negativity that are in direct rebellion to the mother's love and the unity of the divine family. All right? When this universal unity is reflected through your masculine energy, you bring balance as a divine feminine that allows you the sense of safety and freedom to explore the world and other people in a balanced way. And so when you get into this point of divine love, you start removing the barriers of race, the barriers of gender, the barriers of culture, the barriers of economic status. You start breaking down barriers that further perpetrate division. Okay? So I am just sharing with you what I am learning right now about the frequency that I am at right now and trying to understand that frequency. Because when I hear the word love, my finite mind goes right to romance, or it can go to familiar, right? And even when we talk about earthly love and the fact that we have separate versions of love. We have familiar love, we have agape love, we have, eros love. You know what I'm saying? We have all these different. We are very good at division. Humans are. Language, it is very good at creating a divisive working in your mind. But at the end of the day, when you start getting to the higher vibrations of things and you start removing all of these divisive factors and duality and separatism and all of this, like thinking from that standpoint, it better helps you understand the vibration of love. It helps you understand that the division, the way we divide everything up in gender, race, culture, you know, financial status, position and power. The way we divide ourselves up is the very reason why we often have conversations amongst ourselves as a family, a human family, that love is missing. There's no love. People don't want to love no more. You know, it's rooted in the fact that we are still allowing the mind that we've been given, the consciousness that we've been given, to rob us of harmony, to rob us of unity, to rob us of the understanding of harmony of things, unification of things, that all things are unified, whole, not split, not separated. And the more I start to understand that, and the more I think about it, and the more the mother says, this is divine love. This is divine love. It kind of gives me a deeper sense of safety. Of safety. It gives me a deeper sense of safety. And that's what we're going to talk about on the next part of this conversation about divine love. All right, we're going to pick up right there. We're going to talk about the safety that divine love provides for us. This has been Sacred Empowerments of the Divine Feminine. I I am Yolanda YaYa Williams. Thank you for tapping in with me, Divine Feminines. Please take a moment and shoot your girl one of them good thumbs ups. Leave a comment, purple heart, say what's up to me, you know what I mean? I appreciate it all. And also, if you have not subscribed, please do that and turn on your notification bell so you'll know when I am back with another video, okay? I love you guys. Hope you have a great day, great night, morning, whatever time you're watching this, and I'll see you guys on the next one, okay?